Hello, this is Attorney Tasha Simmons, and we're back with a video on how to file your own petition. Okay, this is the central document here. This is the meat and the potatoes, right? So we're going to get right into it. We've already discussed the civil cover sheet and the notice of related cases and why they need to be filed. And so now we're going to go back into our forms here, and we're going to file and go through the actual petition. Now for this, I think I should really, I have my own form that I use, but just for completeness, I think I'm going to take us over to the Florida Family Law forms that are on the state court website, flcourts.org. And we're going to go through their petition, how to fill that out, since many of you will be using that one. Okay, and you can see all I had to do was go to, well, I have it saved, but if you were to just go to flcourts.org, as you can see here, then you would just scroll down, you'll see self-help, you'll see family law forms. It's right there on the first page. Okay, these are the most commonly accessed, and there's a reason for that. You have the petition right there. Okay, I want to say something about this because this is, we're not going to use this. I'm actually going to open a petition for dissolution of marriage, which is the long way of saying divorce, that has children and property, right? But I want to say a word about the petition for dissolution of marriage with no children or property. This is the better path to go, even if you qualify for what's called a simplified divorce, in my opinion. Okay. A simplified divorce is when you don't have any children or property to fight over, you're just getting divorced, right? Or any financial issues such as alimony. In order to get through the entire process in every county, and every county does it differently, the two of you would have to participate every step of the way. So you would have to file jointly, you would have to both go to the final hearing and all of that. That can prove problematic because a lot of times I've seen one party will sign the waiver, and there'll be another video on that, but there's a form that says, hey, I'm the respondent, I agree to everything, we've already signed an agreement, and we're, I just want to be divorced, I don't want to come back to court, just send me everything in the mail once it's over, right? So a person will sign that sometimes because they saw it on the website, and then they'll drop out of the process. And now you can't get a divorce unless you have to basically get them served now and let them default and all the things you would have gone through if the two of you never started off on the same page in the first place, right? But if you just file a regular petition for dissolution of marriage with no children or property, right, then if that happens, the petitioner can still go forward with the divorce, because there's no requirement to do it jointly. So if you need to default them, or if they sign the waiver, you just go to your final hearing then if they sign the waiver. But nothing has to hang on for them. You don't have to go back and redo anything. All right. But so with that being said, let's open the form that addresses a case where the parties getting divorced have children and property in common. So as you can see, with all family law forms on this website, they're going to come with instructions, which is really great. I mean, it's a lot, but they're really thorough and they're really good. And if you just take the day to sit down with it, I think the instructions are user friendly, except for the fact that it's so long and there's so much detail, but it's easy reading. Okay, it's just a lot of it. All right. And so we're already familiar with how to fill out the top because we explained in the header video how to do that, okay? And this is our petition. So the petitioner, you're gonna fill in your first full name. All right. That's you. Were you in the military? No. Happy Veterans Day, by the way. That's when I'm recording this. I won't say what year though. Okay. So if that's the case, you fill it in for however it applies. Okay. In this particular case, no one's a service member. Date of marriage. Oh my gosh, we got married New Year's. Oh my God. All right, so let's make this a older marriage. Okay? Date of separation. Okay. Moved out the end of last year. Or something like that. I don't really remember. So then that's what you would check if you don't really, if it's an estimate. Okay. We got married, Dade County. Well, if you got married in Dade, why are you doing the divorce in Broward? The divorce gets filed where you all last lived together as a married couple. Okay. So it really doesn't matter where you got married. They have to know that. All right. Children. No one's pregnant, okay? No one's pregnant here. We have one child. Only child. Born on Valentine's Day. Oh, a minor. So let's say 2012. That's interesting. Okay. No one's pregnant, so you just don't check those. Well, what if someone is pregnant and the father is not the husband in this case? That is another video. Okay. And I promise you it'll be up soon. All right. This is a supporting document. Okay. You might have remembered in the previous videos, as well as the description in all of these videos, I've made reference to supporting documents that have to be filed, right? So these do have to be filed, but in many counties like Broward, you can get a case number without them, okay? But do not serve it on the other party until you file these, or you'll be breaking some rules, all righty? Some counties are very strict about that. They won't give you a case number if, unless all of these are filed. It just depends on where you are. So I can tell you in Broward, at least, I've filed in several counties. We're one of the more liberal counties when it comes to this. That may change. You can get a case number if you don't file these. I really don't play with this though. I consider this an essential, and it is the next video. All right, but definitely don't serve it on the other party without filing these as well. Okay, so it's saying financial affidavit. That form is on the website. A UCCJEA, basically the affidavit that gives the court information about the children. That's on the website. And of course, the notice of social security number is also on the website. This is this petition for dissolution of marriage should be granted because the marriage is irretrievably broken. Okay, that's the one. Now, this is a very specific circumstance right here. So if it applies to you, it applies to you, right? But the vast majority of the time, this is it, right? We know Florida's no fault. No one has to prove anyone cheated or abandoned or anything like that. It's just the marriage is broken. The next section, this is what we're going to be asking the court to do with the assets and the debts of the marriage, okay? If you have property. Well, we don't have any, then you're done. You just click that. But if you do have property, more often than not, you have that, then you're just going to let the court know, hey, we have property. All right. We're going to do the financial affidavit, and that's where you're going to list the property. And 2A is where you're going to choose what you want the court to do. Well, we already agreed on everything. Great. We haven't agreed on anything. The court should split it up. I like to choose this, okay? Choose it even if you have an agreement. Because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of folk come to me thinking or hoping that they have an agreement with their soon-to-be ex-spouse. And then when it doesn't turn out that way, you don't want to have to amend the petition to ask for the court's intervention. You want to give the court power to act. Okay, and I can tell you, the appeals courts, they're getting stricter and stricter about whether or not a judge can do something in your case that you did not ask for in the petition. So just check that anyway. And if you have an agreement, great, file it with the court, and that'll knock that out. This is a topic for another time, but you are checking yourself, whichever one is you, and saying, I should be awarded basically ownership or part ownership over something that belongs to my soon-to-be ex-spouse. So you're going to explain why, because you got to explain why for that type of thing. And to get into that, that's really another video. Alrighty. Section 2, spousal support, better known as alimony. In Florida, there are, oh, well, there they are. Okay, lump sum is just a way that it gets paid. So there are really 4 types, but fine, 5 types of alimony in Florida. Permanent periodic is the type that we think about most often when we hear the word alimony in conversations or on TV and what have you. That's this type. Okay, so definitely look out for my video where I explain the different types of these. But trust me, and I know this tends to start arguments because a lot of people, even though they don't have a written agreement with their spouse yet that settles everything, you kind of have a vibe with them. You kind of expect that they're going to agree to everything. Maybe they told you, but then they get the petition and it's like, whoa, you checked alimony off. It's just boilerplate. It's just, unless you're, this is my opinion. Ask for everything and then settle it, right? But I have seen where some individuals, it's like they saw that I checked this off and they got really mad and now they don't want to agree to anything. Most people don't understand that when you file a petition or a motion, a lot of it is just boilerplate language. And then when you get to court or you get further on in the case, then you really deal with the issue. So if you're just dealing with someone that is just like that, then fine. If the two of you have already agreed, alimony is not going to be a thing. You can't check both. You can't file this for the other person. So this is your petition. I've seen people check both, like, yeah, they waive it too. We don't know that. They have to file their response, okay? But I would just say be detailed, be very detailed, okay? I would attach a page. If you're really looking for alimony now, and again, I'm going to save this for the alimony video, be thorough, be specific as to why you should get that money. You don't have to figure out how much, it's going to be, but you can just ask for what you want. Just ask for what you want here. But this is not where it's going to be decided. And I think it's better to ask for more, okay? Or to just say an amount or what the court. You don't want to cap the court. You don't want to tie the court's hands. So you can put an amount here, but you can also say, or whatever the court feels or deems is fair and necessary. That's what I would do. Okay. Number 4, life insurance to secure the support. So, if they pass away before they retire, you would get a payout. Well, courts often order that when they order alimony. And now we get to section 3, parental plan, establishing parental responsibility, which is the power to make choices, and time sharing, which used to be called custody. Okay, so who makes decisions and who has the children when? Okay, so the court wants to know where children currently are. And we move on to parental responsibility. The court is required to order that you both share decision-making power unless you have proof that would be detrimental to the children, okay? That it would be against their best interest. Okay, so that is just one of the things where the court already knows what it has to do before you even walk into court. Okay, it's gonna be shared parental unless your co-parent is a danger to the kids or it's not in their best interest that the two of you should have the power to decide. And if that's the case, then you need to let the court know here who should, who should make all the decisions, and most importantly, why. Okay. And then we move on to parental plan and time sharing. There is a separate video on the parenting plan, okay? Because you're gonna wanna fill that out. It's not an essential form to get a case number. Your case can be open without it, all right? But you definitely need to file that. And it is required. I hope you don't have to go to trial, but you need to give the court an idea of what you're asking for. And a lot of times you can save money going through court. You file a parenting plan, the other side looks at it and goes, oh, I can live with this, or this is what I wanted anyway. And then you write up an agreement and you're done. All right. Or you just both sign that parenting plan and you're done. So just file it. You never know what trouble it can save you. But you're going to fill out the parenting plan. Okay. So here you want to let the court know, should that plan include time for my soon-to-be ex-spouse and the children? No, it shouldn't. Yes, it should. Okay. And they're just asking, what are you going to call the petitioner? Mother, father, whatever, and what are you going to call the respondent? So you'll click this if your parenting plan has already been attached, you're done, and you're attaching to the petition. You do not have to do that. Okay. Or you can just put here, well, this is what I think should happen. And also, of course, you can attach a sheet if you want to spell it out a little more. And do see if it applies, please. Please, please, please. C is where if there are special issues in your case where maybe there's a harm or threat or past issues, or there's been domestic violence or DCF has been involved. There's something going on where there needs to be some extra parameters in place for the protection of the child. This is where you're going to explain that. Okay. And of course, again, number 4, why? Why is your request in the best interest of the children? This is king in a court case. Okay, if what you're asking the court to do as it pertains to the children, if you don't have an explanation as to how it's in their best interest, it's gonna fall on deaf ears. It can't be all about you. All right, so that's just the law. So it naturally follows in Florida that child support is the next section. Why is that? Because in Florida, child support is calculated in part based on how long each parent, or how much time each parent has with the child. Okay, there is a formula for that. The court is not going to make up a number. Opposing counsel or the opposing side is not going to come in and say, well, this is what it should be. You're both required to do a child support guideline worksheet. That's what's referred to here, and file that with the court. And if everybody's being truthful about what they're making and what they're spending is going to come out to be the same numbers, I can guarantee you that there's going to be some discrepancy, because not everyone tends to be honest on these. All right. And so there obviously there's going to be a financial affidavit video and a child support guideline worksheet video. So do not fret. All right. And I'm afraid that to get through this section, it would take long. I'm just going to breeze through this, and you have to just watch the child support videos, the financial affidavit video as well. All right. But let's just say I want the child support to be retroactive to the date that we separated. And remember, we separated the end of last year. You can get child support back to 24 months before you filed the petition if you were separated during that time. So every month you were separated up to 24 months before the petition, you can get retroactive, not arrears. Retroactive is what would have been paid if you had been ordered 24 months before the petition. Arrears is child support has already been ordered and you're late or you didn't pay it. Even people that work for the government get this confused. It's amazing. All right. Petitioner requests that the court award child support to be paid beyond the age of 18 years because, and boom, you have your reasons down here. Choose which one applies, choose the child or the children it applies to, and you check the box. All right, and the remaining child support provisions apply to, well, we're going to get to that in 4 and 5, but just quickly, number 3, if you want to deviate from what the child support guideline says child support should be, there are so many rules about that. But yeah, you can ask for more or less than what the guideline says, but you have to file that motion and you better be specific. All right. Petitioner requests that medical or dental insurance be provided by who? Okay, you or your co-parent or both. No, well, this is not a both type of thing, the insurance, right? And we'll get to that in another video. All right, and finally, uninsured, things that are not covered, okay, where you'll hear them say out of pocket in court, okay? Most people, they go with, let's just split those. And, you know, a lot of times if you're making a lot less money than the other side, then you want to say, no, I want D. I want, you know, if our income is a pot representing 100% and my co-parent's income is 80% of that pot, then they should pay 80% of the out of pocket. That's what D means. And, you know, if you're in that position, that's what you're going to want to check. If you're the 80% person, you're probably going to want to check this. Okay. And number 6, again, life insurance. If the payor of the child support deceases before the child emancipates or reaches the age of majority, then you have the life insurance there to pay out what you were expecting to receive over that time. Courts will do that more readily for child support than they will for alimony. Finally, we have changing of the former legal name. Okay, if your name was changed by the marriage and you want it to be changed, there you go. You're gonna put your former legal name or maiden name here. All right. Some people don't bother because it's just too much trouble. Just know that if you change your mind later on and do want to change your name or restore your former name, you're going to have to file a new case, and that's $600 in Broward and in a lot of other counties in Florida to file a name change case. So you may just want to have it done during the divorce, but then just don't go and change anything. But if you're ready one day, you'll have it. Now, other is important. Why? Because there are certain things that if you do not put it in the petition, you cannot ask for it. Specifically, partition of the marital house. If you both own the house and you're at odds about how it should be disposed of, okay, it may be that you may want the court to order it to be sold and you all split the proceeds and the other side doesn't agree, or vice versa, for example. The court does not have the power to order the house to be sold unless you plead for a partition. So put that here. Okay? Put that here. And that's it. This last section is just a review of all the other sections. So you're just letting the court know, hey, this applies. I filled out this section. I filled out that section. I didn't need this section. We don't have anything there. And you're done with the petition.